Hi, I'm Tina Peterson, your host with the American Dream TV, and we are here today at the Howell Balloon Festival, and we're here with Denny McGuire, who is the pilot for Kaleidoscope, his hot air balloons. So Denny, what inspired you to be a hot air balloon pilot, and how did you get involved in this unique profession?
Okay, so I've been flying since high school, fixed wing airplanes. And a friend of mine 20 years ago had a hot air balloon, took me for a ride, and inspired me to learn how to fly hot air balloons. And a year after I learned, I bought one, and I've been flying these since.
So what's been your most unique flight that you've had? Like, what kind of things have you seen from the sky?
You know, every flight is unique. Every flight is different. You don't know where you're landing. That's the most unique thing about hot air ballooning. You have an idea, you have a wind direction, but it's never consistent to where you know where you're going to land. So maybe 30 or 40 minutes into the flight, you start thinking about landing and you start looking for an acceptable landing spot. If we have the opportunity, we'll ask our ground crew to go ahead of us and ask the landowner if it's okay, if it's acceptable we land in his lawn.
So is there a training process or certification that you get to fly?
Yes, there is. This is actually an aircraft. It's regulated by FAA, and it requires FAA-approved parts, FAA-approved mechanics, FAA-approved flight instructors, FAA-approved pilots, and there are training programs and training material that FAA puts out. And there's tests. You have to take a written test and a practical test, and if you pass them, you get a balloon license.
So how much do you rely on your crew, Denny?
Heavily. I rely on my crew to watch over while we're inflating and launching. When you have the balloon inflated, you can't see above you. So I have to wait for them to tell me that there's nobody above me so I can take off. And then before launch, they help me set up. They help me make sure the lines are in the proper locations, the fan is in the proper locations. So they're very important. Also, when you're flying, they'll tell you if there's wires that you might not see, especially if they're behind a tree line. They'll go ahead of you and ask for landowner permission to make sure it's acceptable to the landowner that you land there. And then for picking up, the balloon's got to be stretched out again and packed up and put in the bag. It's an involved process.
And then do you guys compete? You compete, correct?
This is competition.
This is a competition. So
Right.
what are you competing for? What is the competition?
So typically what they'll do, and maybe tonight, they'll get all the pilots together. You have a pilot briefing, and they'll tell you what the tasks are, which might be to take off here before a certain time, and then you take off and you fly to a target. They'll give you the latitude and longitude of the target, and you have to fly to it, and then you drop a marker and try and come as close as you can to the target.
So that's who they determine who wins is who gets closest to the target.
Who gets the closest, yeah.
Wow. And it's not a speed thing, it's just who gets closest.
Yeah, they call it a balloon race, but no, it's not speed, it's accuracy and reading the wind so that you can get your balloon to fly over the target. Not an easy task with the variable wind.
I bet. So unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate on the Balloon Fest, but Denny was able to bring us back here today and take us up again. So that was a great experience, Denny. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing the balloon ride. That was amazing, an incredible journey.
You're welcome. What'd you like this?
How smooth it was. It was amazing how smooth it was.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy it?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
And for our viewers, we hope to see you next time, and we hope you're living your best life.